with that, welcome you inside this edition of Big Ten Today. I'm your host, Rick Pizzo. Excited to head to Bloomington. We will hear from Curt Cignetti. He'll talk about the development of transfer quarterback Josh Hoover, following in those awfully big footsteps of Fernando Mendoza, and Ryan Day on why the Buckeyes' brutal schedule is exactly the way that he wants it. But we begin with the big story. And in this era of constant change, the level of consistent success for Iowa over the past quarter century under Kirk Ferentz is somewhat hard to comprehend. At least 8 wins in 9 of the last 11 seasons, 13 consecutive bowl invitations, 23 invites to the postseason overall. Now, heading into his 28th campaign as the head Hawk, Ferentz has Iowa ranked among the preseason top 25 once again. Our training camp crew has more from Iowa City.
Thanks, Rick. Final stop on our tour, Iowa City. Got a chance to see the Hawkeyes go through practice today. Dave Revs, Jake Butt, and Howard Griffith. And year 28 for Kirk Ferentz. It's our 20th year of watching these practices. You always know what to expect. You always know it's going to be a really good fundamental practice. This year, there is so much focus on the quarterback battle. And you've got a 2-man race. Hank Brown and Jeremy Hecklinski. Both are transfers, but both were in the program a year ago. What did you see, and how would you evaluate that spot?
Yeah, I would think it's going to go into the regular season. This is going to be a quarterback battle that's been ongoing, and I think it's going to continue. And I think ultimately whoever is able to really move the team and not turn the football over come game time is who they're going to rally with and decide who's going to be the starter.
It's really hard with limited data. I mean, if I had to pick today, Brown won the battle, but then you go back to the scrimmage and Hecklinski won the battle. But I would say today the defense is really who won the battle. So we have to rely on the coaches, Coach Lester and Ferentz, and they said no one has separated in this battle. I'd imagine the out-of-conference schedule is where this really ultimately gets decided. But the quarterbacks, Iowa is not built on saying, quarterbacks, you have to go win every single game for us. There's going to be a great defense. The offensive line is elite. The run game's great. I know the tight ends will be good, and they're excited about the wide receivers. So they're insulated in a sense, and I hope neither guy is feeling like they're going to have to go be Superman to have a successful Hawkeye season.
It was fascinating to watch today because I think I came in and certainly read a lot about the Kids Day scrimmage and that Jeremy Hecklinski had played so well. To your point, he didn't have a great day today, but it's just one day. And that, I mean, I think that's the challenge. And for us, it's always been interesting because we kind of parachute in and you try to draw some sort of sweeping conclusion, and that's just impossible to do. And I think you go back to the point that Tim Lester made to us, and I was talking about with Kirk Ferentz on the field as well. These guys have been essentially dead even. It ebbs and it flows. And it was telling, I think, that they said we may not know in game 1 or game 2. It may go into the season. So that tells you pretty clearly that neither player is separated. They do have a really good offensive line. I know it was impressive, and you wondered a little bit just with the star power that they lost off that group last year. I mean, some NFL players, but it feels like, you know, they're maybe haven't missed a beat. I mean, there's certainly going to be a strength of this team, Jake.
Between Locke and Piper, those are 2 guys that could be day 1 and at a very minimum day 2 picks. And then, you know, talking to Lester and Ferentz, he feels great about the other pieces too, that they have 7 or 8 guys that are competing for a starting role. Wouldn't be shocked if some of these new faces end up having some draft recognition at the end of the season. But that doesn't shock anyone here watching Iowa practice.
Yeah, I think when you start to think about this offensive line, they're so well coached in the development of what they're doing. So there's not a lot of standing around by offensive linemen. Those guys are always involved in something, whether you're a 2 or a 3, it doesn't matter. You're getting a lot of reps, and you see that show up. And that's one of the reasons this run game has been so productive, because of the guys up front and what they're able to do. And I know you want to talk about the tight ends, but they're always a big part of the run game as well.
Can I talk about that?
You can do whatever you want, man. The floor is yours.
It's great to see Ostranga back healthy. I mean, it was a tough Achilles injury against Iowa State last year. I would have no idea that he had a major surgery like that watching him move around. But it's not just him. Obviously, DJ Vanami finishes the season strong, breakout bowl game. And watching those 2 guys, but especially DJ, he's just a different mover. Could he be a day 2, if not day 1 pick? It wouldn't shock anyone knowing the history of tight ends here at Iowa. And I think what stood out to me is talking to the tight end coach Hodges. He said that Phil Parker pulled him aside and said, hey, I need to know when DJ's in the game because I have to sub in a safety or a nickel. I can't have a linebacker on him. And that just speaks to the weapon that DJ is as a pass catcher.
So that's going to be a little bit of a challenge for opposing defenses because they're not necessarily going to be tipped off in the same way. Tim Lester's going to say, hey, by the way, I'm going to put DJ in there.
All they need to do is look at the film.
Exactly. And started with the bowl game last year. Yep.
We know they're going to run the ball well. I think, again, you have Kamari Moulton back. LJ Phillips transferring in was the leading rusher in Division I last year. Came at the FCS level. What about on the defensive side? They turn over a lot on that side of the ball, and yet Phil Parker, right? I mean, this is what they do, 10 straight years allowing fewer than 20 points. It's far and away the longest streak in the country. Where do you think this defense is in terms of being at that elite level that we've come to expect?
I don't know if we can answer that today, just being here today, but we do know that there's a history, a track record with this defense. Yes, the names have changed. You can look at Hawthorne. You can look at Kennedy up front. These guys are going to be impactful players this year and are going to give Big Ten offensive linemen some issues. So you could start there, but then you look at the linebackers. I think they're going to be right where they want to be because remember, and he's mentioned this, he talks about turning the football over, why it's so important. You think of all the turnovers that this defense has had through the years, is something that they emphasize each and every day.
The linebacker group has more starting quality players than there is starting positions available. Listening to the communication with the linebacker group, the secondary today, you can hear good football, and that's a standard anytime you're playing in Phil Parker's defense. Even with the new faces, these guys were communicating as though they're sure of their assignment and what the defense needs to be doing overall. I think the defense replacing, all the key guys from last season, that's a bit of a question mark. They'll probably be rotating 7 or 8 guys across that defensive line, and who emerges as the elite pass rusher is probably something that'll be revealed early in the season.
Yeah, and we've come to expect special teams to be an incredible strength here. LeVar Woods moving on, going to Michigan State to be a part of Pat Fitzgerald's staff and be his assistant head coach. And so now you've got some turnover there. You got a new special teams coordinator, and Kirk Ferentz was quick to point out, hey, it's not just that we have a new coordinator, we have a new kicker, we have a new punter, we have new return guys. I mean, that's hard, and they win so many games on the margins, Howard. So I think it's an area to keep an eye on.
The execution of all of those elements of special teams is going to be an important part of what they're able to do. But you're right, this is an area, you talk about winning 2 of the 3 phases. You always knew Iowa was going to win special teams. That was going to be a lock when what happened defensively or offensively would play out. But they have to figure out the special team side of it, and I know they will, but ultimately you really won't know and have that confidence until you're in game situations.
The specialists would be probably the key here, kicker, punter, kick returner, punt returner, because outside of that, I think part of the magic with Iowa is the type of person that they recruit to come play football here. We're talking about DJ Vanami as a potential day 1, day 2 draft pick, and he's on punt coverage out there. Like, there's just a selfless type of player that is attracted to come playing at Iowa football. So I think their punt coverage, kickoff coverage, punt return, all those units will be great. It's the specialists that they're introducing that'll be the positions to watch.
We think about last year, they had the 4 losses by a total of 15 points. And this was a team, it literally was 2 plays. Could have gotten them to the college football playoff had they gone in a different direction. We know this is the winningest program in the Big Ten that hasn't been to the CFP in that CFP era. What would it take for this team to be in that conversation this year?
I think it's going to be on the quarterbacks because Gronowski was such a perfect fit for them, and his experience and his legs really showed up big time. Had he not got hurt against Indiana, maybe they are in the playoff. Maybe they do beat Indiana, but introducing 2 new quarterbacks, I think that's going to be the key to watch.
Yeah, without saying, quarterbacks is going to be a big issue. And I'd say this, when we talk about a few plays that kept them out of this, and the points of 15 points, those are all important things. Can you get over the hump with those particular plays will be a big part of it, because I will tell you, they love to be right back in that situation where it's right there in front of them and they're able to grasp it.
This program plays a lot of close games, and do you win those games on the margins? I think that's what it's going to come down to with this team this year, as it does in virtually every year where we watch Iowa football, Rick.